There's a verse at the end of Birkat, which is problematic for a lot of people. It's Na'ar Hoyisi v'gam zakanti v'lo ra'iti tzadik nezav. I was a young boy, and I was an old man, and I never saw a righteous person in need of bread. And seems to be so untrue that a lot of people have a problem with it. Some people sing it in a low voice. People are embarrassed by it because there are righteous people who go in need of bread. So what's the explanation? Why is that in Birkat? Kind of the brilliance of a person of faith. One of the classic explanations is that it's really not talking about a person begging for bread, but you don't see a truly righteous person who loses their sense of God's providence over the world. And that when you're in a situation where you feel like you've lost your bread, your relationships are bad, your health is bad, you've been laid off, your financial situation is terrible, you're sort of at your wit's end, the person who you feel depressed, suicidal, that person is a person without faith, doesn't believe that there's a brighter future ahead, that God has a plan, that things will improve, that you never know when you're closer to the peak than you realize you are. Classic story of a fellow who's climbing a long hike, and he's climbing a mountain, and he doesn't feel like he can go any further. It's a lot. It's supposed to take 3 hours. He doesn't know what time it is, but he seems like he's been walking forever. And then he rounds a bend, and he sees a fellow much older than him, and with a walking stick and shorts coming down, smiling at him, saying it's a lot closer than you think. And when he rounds the next bend, he realizes he reached the top, and the whole thing took only an hour. He went 3 times as fast as they say you're supposed to. So you don't know when you're closer to the top. So a lot of times it feels very bleak, but a tzaddik would have faith that God always has a better plan. There's something in store for you, and you have to have faith. And so they want you to say, Na'ar Hoyisi, I was a boy, v'gam zakanti, and I was also old, v'lo ra'iti, and I never saw a righteous person in need of bread. That you have to have faith in your own situation and the situation of those around you, and then hopefully, and a person of faith will believe that a better situation will come about. That's part of the wisdom of that idea. It's not the reality, of course, that people don't suffer, that good people don't suffer, but a righteous person, a person of faith, in other words, should have a positive view and not try to sink into despair. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, who was the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, said, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar me'od, the whole world is a narrow bridge. The ikar, the key, is lo lefached, don't be afraid. I know it's hard, it's not human nature, but to always be confident, even when things look bleak, to look positive, to look ahead, and to believe that there will be a better time ahead. That's why Birkat ends in that powerful way of asking for a testimony of faith, even in tough times, and especially in tough times.